Okay, so today I'm with a retiree. Gentleman's name is Bruce and he's quite famous. Hi Bruce.
Good to meet you.
All right, so Bruce, a little bit about yourself first, because you are actually a little famous.
Oh, I won't say that. I've done some things that a lot of people probably can't do, but that's just the career path that I chose in martial arts. And I was a professional martial arts competitor all my adult life.
And you won world titles?
47.
47, and you were only beaten?
Once.
Wow, absolutely amazing, and I believe you have a world record.
I've got two of them. I'm in the World Guinness Book of Records for 2000 and again in 2011.
Amazing, absolutely. So, what made you choose to retire to Bali?
Two reasons. I've got severe arthritis.
Okay.
That was one. And living in Melbourne, it didn't help my condition with arthritis. And secondly, that I needed a place that I could enjoy people's company because I'm not a real people person. But the Balinese, I've just found that went out of their way to make me feel not only welcomed, but also too to be part of a community. And ever since I've got here, that's the way I found it, and I love it.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, 11 years you have been retired here. So does that mean you had your retirement visa for 11 years?
Yes, I did.
Could you tell me quickly the process of getting
I went to Centrelink. I'd been here prior to that. I'd been here about 5 or 6 weeks prior to going to Centrelink for putting in my pension. I organised this house. I had all the paperwork and everything, and I went to Centrelink. I made sure that I could cover all the questions that Centrelink were going to ask me, and I had some questions on Centrelink. What could I get? What couldn't I get? It took probably an hour and a half. I was told that I'd be notified within a 24-hour period whether I had my pension, and within around about 18 hours, I had a phone call saying, "You've got your pension, go to Bali."
And approximately, what was the cost and what is the cost for renewing? Approximately.
Well, there was no cost.
To get the visa?
Oh, well, yeah, everyone's got to pay for the visa. And the visas in those days, your first visa, I think, was about $1,200 Australian.
Okay.
But you expected that because what I'm going to say, we all knew approximately what the visa was going to cost us before we actually got here. But the process is a lot easier now than what it was 11 years ago. But in saying that, if you do due diligence, you've got running around to do. The running around is a pain in the butt, but you can get it all done in a day, so the following day you can actually go and get everything done. You can go and get your visa done, you can go and get your PPJS done, you can go and get your license done, and anything else you want to do if you're prepared to make the sacrifice to do due diligence. And that's what it boils down to. A lot of people come here, they don't work out a budget of how they're going to live. And 9 out of 10 people that come here live like tourists instead of live like they live here. And that's a problem, because if you live like a tourist, you'll never get to places like Sindhu Market and eat there and eat like the locals do. Find a place where the locals eat, and you'll never eat at another restaurant again because the locals know how to eat. It's also cost effective.
Yeah.
And you will not starve. You learn what the cuisine is, but also too it becomes cost effective. And again, you've got to learn to live as a person here, not as a tourist. That is the main thing I try and tell everyone. Don't live as a bloody tourist. Live as a local. Go and explore the place. Don't be afraid to get out, walk, catch a taxi, get up off your backside and go and explore, because when you explore the place, even now, I find things now that I'm still finding, and I think I didn't know that. And it's great, it's a good experience, but also too, I've got a notebook and I put everything in where I want. I was just saying to you before, I buy lard here now. Now people might laugh and say, lard? Yeah, because you oils everything here. But like, you know, if anyone's ever had a beautiful steak, have it in lard and see what sort of steak you get. Well, now I found out I can get it. I can get duck fat to cook roast potatoes. There's a lot of things, if you look, that you can get that people aren't aware of. Also on a price wise, don't be afraid to go to places and have a look at the prices to see if it justifies with your way of living. If it doesn't, find something else that works into your way of living. It's pretty simple, really. You don't have to be an Einstein. You just have to sit down, do a budget, work out how much you can afford to yourself, and work within your means.
Now, on my last video, I mentioned a few locations, Sanur, Mungu, and Ubud. Do you have recommendations of where to stay in Bali?
Well, look, that's a choice, I guess. I love Sanur only due to the fact that we've got so many things here now. We've got an RSL here now. And I believe that we are the only ones in Bali that has an actual RSL, Return Servicemen's League. So, like, we have our Anzac days here. We have Commemoration Day here. Next year, we have a Masonic Lodge starting.
Okay.
So, and I'm a Freemason. I was a Freemason at 17. I went in as a Lewis because I was in the army, because I was in Her Majesty's Armed Service. I was allowed to go in as a 17-year-old under my father. And now we're going to get a lodge. There's not many places that you haven't got in Australia that you get here. They take a little bit longer to figure out who's going to do what and so forth, but everything's achievable if you're prepared to take your time and do it properly.
Would you agree that Sanur is very Aussie compared to other nationalities when it comes?
It is, and I'll admit that. The only problem that we don't suffer in Sanur as much as you do like in Kuta, Seminyak. They won't allow Aussies here to run amok as they do in Kuta and Seminyak. You will see very few Aussies here walking up and down the street with beers in their hands because they get pulled up by the bunjar, or another Aussie will say, mate, we're living in another country, show a little bit of pride, will you? And people will actually say it. It's like women. Nigel and I went out for dinner the other day, and I said to Nigel, there's nothing wrong with having a look at a pretty girl. But when she's wearing a bikini that shows what she had for breakfast, instead of being able to put something on top, we live in a Muslim country, for God's sake. Show a little bit of pride. And what I'm going to say at the end of the day, how much does it cost to show a bit of pride? And we get more respect, whether you're male or female, we're trying to do the right thing than the wrong thing.
Agree.
And the Balinese appreciate the fact that we are trying to do the right thing.
Accommodation, what are we looking at? I priced it around, well, let's hear from you. What would be average 2-bedroom with pool, which you have?
This place was, when I bought it, was 245,000 Australian dollars.
Ah, you bought this?
Yeah, and this place is worth 400 now.
Okay, so you bought it under whose name?
Mine. Because under the second homestay, I was able to buy it 2 years ago. I got a solicitor, a barrister up on the bypass, and I was able to organise it. It cost me almost $2,000, but also too, the laws are changing. There was a man in Lombok. He bought his house and he got told he couldn't own the house. So he challenged the courts and went to the High Court of Indonesia.
Okay.
He's the only bule in Lombok that's got papers from the High Court that say he owns the property he's in. Property, land, house. So the laws now are going to change because the laws have been changed in Indonesia because of that one man who decided to take on the government in Lombok.
How
Now that was
recent
only
is
this
that?
year.
This year? I
This
don't
year.
know of this.
Yeah, this
I'll
year
check
he
it out.
went to court and he won.
Okay, interesting.
He won. And that's going to change all the laws. Well, Bali needs to change. It needs to change its autonomy because at the moment, what Australian is silly enough to invest in a country that you can't take money out of? If I'm going to invest here, I want to be able to take money out because it's my investment. Now, if the Balinese government want to get people like you, me, or anyone else in to invest, they've got to make it at least easy for us to say, well, you know, if you're going to invest here, we've got to give you something back. Now, common sense tells you that if I'm going to invest, what do I get? I'm not just going to invest for nothing. It's my livelihood, it's my hard-earned money. I want to be able to know that I'm getting something back. Thailand has done the right thing. The number of people that can, now in Thailand, you can buy your own villa outright and you own it, land, everything.
Okay.
In Thailand. They're going to have to eventually pass a law here that they're going to have to do that. It's the only way Bali's going to get out and have an infrastructure that the Balinese people are actually they're going to win because the more money that's put into it, the more the government's going to get. Therefore, they can invest in the infrastructure in Indonesia. And that's not going to just help us, but it's going to help the Balinese people. And as far as I'm concerned, if we're helping the Balinese people, that's what we're here for.
Oh, damn right. Yeah, yeah. It's not take everything,
No,
it's to give.
it's to be able to give back as well. But it's got to be give and take on both sides. It's
Okay.
not just a one-way street.
Yeah.
And the Indonesian government has got to realise that, you know, if they want what they want for the Balinese people, then they're going to have to give up something to be able to gain something. It's like the old cliche. What you lose on the swing, you gain on the merry-go-round. So at the end, everyone wins.
Do you think, like a lot of naysayers, oh, Bali's changing for the worse, you've lived here long enough, do you go with this? Or
Yes, I do.
Okay, in what ways?
Sanua's become very commercialised to what it was when I first got here. And even prior to that, we owned a pub in Tambalingan. And I was here 5 years before I actually decided to come back and live here again from 2015. But yes, it's definitely changed. The mall, I don't believe that the mall has done anything for local people.
Icon Mall.
The Icon Mall, but I think it's a lot of businesses have gone broke. And look, I don't blame people, but give you an example. I took my granddaughter over there and she wanted to buy a present for one of her girlfriend's kids.
Okay.
So we went to Legoland over there. And he's into Legos, he's 13 or 14. Anyway, Emma went there. It was about $140 dearer there than what it was in Melbourne. And in Melbourne, it was just outrageous. So the prices, and I can understand why, because of the rents and that they're paying. But what I'm going to say, you can go to Jakarta and get the same thing, and you'll pay half the price of what you're paying in Melbourne. It's just the location. We've gone up, they say we've gone up about 28.5% per annum here. And that works out to about right. Electricity's gone up, cost of living's gone up, and everything. And okay, we expect that. But Sanua isn't as friendly as what it used to be almost 12 years ago.
Okay. I mean, when we compare, of course, Australia to Bali, the cost of living is still at what, a fifth, at a guess?
I'd say we're 80% better off here than what we are in Australia.
Okay.
Definitely.
As long as you don't buy the Lego.
Look, there's a lot of things that, you know, you look, again, due process. If you're silly enough that you've got a quid in your pocket, you want to part with your money real quick, just go out and spend it.
Sure.
But if you're not foolhardy and you want to save yourself $1, then you do due diligence. If you want to go to a butcher, there's a dozen different butchers. Ring up, get a price list, compare the prices, and then make up your mind. Now, his meat mightn't be as nice, but it might be cheap. So you turn around and say, well, okay, it was cheap, but I didn't like it. So next month, I'll go to the next place. Now, his meat could be absolutely spot on, and you've probably paid an extra 15%. For an extra 15%, if you like the product, why would you bitch? You're still getting, I get a leg of lamb here for 35 bucks. I can't get that in Melbourne for 35 bucks.
And still as good quality.
I get legs of lamb from New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
So, 35 bucks, I've got one in for Christmas. I've got a Peking duck, I've got a leg of lamb, Smoky Joe's, I'm getting from Denpasar, I'm getting a whole ham from them for Christmas. Look, again, due diligence. And I can't emphasise that enough. And look, I come over here and suppose, like most other people, you know everything and you know nothing.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, after a period of time, you grow something that's called a brain. And it happens to all of us. We get here, we think that we're smarter than everyone else until we actually put ourselves in someone else's shoes and we become them. And then when you start to live with them, you see their silliness or their madness, and you think, hang on, these people aren't as silly as what I thought they were. And they're not. They're actually a damn bloody sight smarter, and they're not frivolous. We are. So if you want to learn not to be frivolous, eat where the Balinese meet. Find a restaurant where it's packed with Balinese people. Go in there and try the food. It's fresh, it's cooked in front of you, it doesn't come out of a Bay Marie. You get a meal at Sindhu Market for $3 with a drink. And then you bring half of it home because it's so bloody big that you have it for tomorrow morning's breakfast. And it's still as fresh as what it was last night. How do you beat that?
Impossible.
It's ridiculous. And again, and it's only because you get smarter as you get older. And, the old cliche, I suppose, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. And we all come here with an expectation. Sometimes you've got to leave your expectation at the door. And you've got to start then living like a local. And once you live like a local, everything fits into place. There's nothing hard here to do. The running around will probably take you 2 days. And it's a pain in the arse running around getting a licence, because you've got to go to South Denpasar from here to go to the big police station. It's a pain in the butt to have to go there. It takes you 45, 50 minutes to get there. And then you've got to line up for 2.5 hours to get your licence. But it's good for 5 years. Yep. So you don't have to go again for 5 years.
This is, of course, driver's licence.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
PPJS, our medical, that took 25 minutes to do. Immigration now, you don't even have to go to the immigration office anymore.
Right, everything can be done.
It's great.
Yeah.
Now that saves you, that probably saves you 2 hours, just having to go in there, sit in there and be part of a crowd. Like, I've always said, why have they got to take your bloody fingerprints every year? Your fingerprints don't change. Now they don't do it. They've made it easier. Okay, the cost has gone up slightly, but I can wear the cost compared to the inconvenience that I gain from it. There's no inconvenience now. I give my, I don't have to use a domicile anymore. I don't even have to use a police report anymore. All I've got to do is give a bank statement that at least 4 payments of my PPJS are current. That's it.
Okay.
And that I'm in good conduct. That I'm not a bloody fool. That I haven't got a rap sheet.
When you retired, I presume the age at that time was 60?
65.
And 65 at that time. And of course now it's down to 55 again.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it came down last month or 2 months
Well,
ago.
where in? Because, no, in Australia, for them to get the pension.
No, I'm talking about...
Oh, yeah, but you can't retire here without the pension. Unless you've got a heap of money.
money. Yeah, true. But I mean, a lot of people do have money.
And they go broke. And they go back to Australia with their tail between their legs.
Oh,
because they live like bloody, they're not prepared to live like locals. They want to live for high life and think that they'll go out every night and, we'll drink this and we'll do this and God knows what. And then all of a sudden, 5 or 6 months up, you're that much money down the shit tube because you haven't done due diligence.
Interesting. I'm not aware of that, but that's a very good point.
Oh, they do that here all the time. You see it.
They'll come out at 57, 58 and
instead
they'll
of
be back
waiting,
home in a year.
look, if you come here, tee everything that you want to tee up before you retire. Take all your paperwork back with you. Make sure you've got everything, your rental agreements for 99 years. I don't think they do 99-year leases now. I'm not sure. I got told they don't. But like, you know, if you've got a lease for 99 years, take that back. Take the paperwork back. Take everything back that you've been given so that they know that you've got an address. They know where you're going to be living. You've got a Bali phone number you can give them. You've got an email address they can contact you on. You've got a bank account that they can look at and tell you. Because as soon as you leave for country, Centrelink know through bloody immigration that you've left for country. So you don't have to be any sort of a bloody brainwave to realise that if you do the right thing and have everything teed up before you go, you're not going to have a problem. It's these people that want to take the shortcuts that come here. I've got a friend now. She went back to Australia 2 weeks ago to get the pension. Oh, I'm going to get the pension. I'm a retired teacher. She's a smart ass. She's a nice woman, but a smart ass. Knows every bloody thing. Now she's been told, oh, we'll give you the pension, but you've got to live in Australia for 2 years.
Yeah, there's certain restrictions.
So much for being a bloody smart ass. Now she's been put straight in her box. She'll get her pension next year, but she's going to have to leave here and go back to Australia for 2 years. So how much of a smart ass are you? You're not. You're a dumb idiot. You should have worked that out before you actually went back. Common sense applies. You know, and if you're not going to use common sense, then don't whinge to people that you're being victimised, because you're not being victimised. It's the law.
It is the law, yeah.
It's the law. What I'm saying, you know, I'm 76. I've still got to obey by the law. I've got to have an Indonesian licence. I've got to have PPJF. I've got to have a kippa. You know, I've still got to abide by Indonesian law. And I find Indonesian law a hell of a lot more palatable than what the laws are in Australia. Here, if you get caught with bloody drugs and it's over a certain amount, you're going to lose your life. I agree with it. I'm anti-drug. I'm sorry if everyone calls me draconian because they've got the death penalty, so be it. If it's going to save someone's life by killing a drug dealer and shooting the bastard for wanting to bring back drugs to Australia, as far as I'm concerned, I'll pull the trigger, and I've got no hassles about it. And I'm the sort of bastard that will pull the trigger. And, you know, we should have that, because have a look at youth crime out, for God's sake, in Australia.
It's a different world.
You know, we don't have that here.
No, we do
And,
not.
like, I've got to give the parents their credit here. If their kids run amok, the bunjar will pull them into line real quick, and they'll give them a good flogging. And I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
That if you're going to break the law, you've got to be held responsible. Whether it be drugs, whether it be robbery. Look at these idiots that committed murder here. The 3 Australians now are up on murder. Well, what did they think they were going to get? Did they think they were going to get a slap on the wrist and said, oh, well, you've been naughty boys, we're going to jail you for 5 or 10 years? They're going to be shot. And so they bloody well should. They've broken the law, Indonesian law, they've killed someone. It's not as though, are we sure they've killed it? They've got everything. They are going to go to prison. They are going to be shot. And everyone, oh, how draconian is Indonesia? Well, they may be draconian, but I tell you what, you can still find drugs here, but they're a hell of a lot harder to find than what they are in Melbourne, I can tell you. And if it keeps my kids and my grandkids safe, I'm all for it.
Yep, great stuff. Okay, so any last thoughts on selling Bali or telling people come to Bali to retire?
Well, Bali's a beautiful place. The people here are absolutely bloody beautiful. Again, treat the Balinese the way you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. A little bit of respect and a little bit of dignity goes a long way. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm a bad-tempered bugger at the best of times. And I've had my run-ins with a few Indonesians and so forth. 99.9% of all Indonesians will walk away from an argument rather than start an argument. And it's a pity we didn't learn the same bloody thing. At my age now, it's easier to walk away from an argument than get into an argument. Because, like, you know, and I've finally learned, it takes a better man to walk away from a fight than what it does to start a fight.
What an excellent way to finish. Thank you very much.